Well, Peter and Gregor, thank you both for agreeing to be interviewed for our viewers.
Lovely to be here. Lovely.
Peter, if we could start with you, could we talk about what happened a few weeks ago now on the festival of Pentecost? Because everyone's talking about both events.
Yep. Well, you can ask away if you want to. I mean, I've got to warn you, I don't know all the answers yet. We're still processing quite a lot of it.
So the stories are that the day of Pentecost, which is the Jewish celebration of, am I right, is about the giving of the law by Moses, and it's a harvest festival?
Well, that's right. Yeah, it's to start with, it was just about the first fruits of the harvest, I think, just bringing in like the first crop you've been sowing. But later in our history, we celebrated it as a time for the giving of the law to Moses, the Ten Commandments and stuff. I've been there, fair few festivals in my time, I can tell you.
But this time, the reports are that something different happened.
You're not joking. Yeah, we was all together in one place, and suddenly there was a sound of a huge wind, like a cyclone or something, and there were these many fires that come down from heaven and rested on our heads, like with Moses and the burning bush. It said we were the bushes.
And what was it like? Was it hot?
Oh, fair play. It's a good question. No, with the burning bushes, when the bush didn't even actually burn up, no, we didn't burn, And the most amazing thing wasn't the fires; it was the speaking. Yes.
Tell us about that.
That's right. Everyone comes to Jerusalem for Pentecost. Visitors from everywhere that Jews live.
Oh yes. It was even that day, wasn't it? Even.
Who was there, Gregor?
Well, I think I remember seeing Parthians and Medes. There was quite a large group of Elamites there, I think, as well.
And people from Mesopotamia, I think, and Judea, obviously.
Yes, Pontus and Asia and Phrygia, definitely represented. I think I remember some very nice people from Cappadocia and maybe Pamphylia
that's right.
as well.
And there were definitely Egyptians and Libyans, possibly some Arabs, people from Crete.
And the most amazing thing about all the people who come for Pentecost is that most of them are born Jews. Some of them are converts to Judaism. So it's a wonderful time. Everyone's so happy, aren't they?
Then, right, as well as the wind and the flames, like the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire that went around with Moses and the people, we started talking in all these different languages, didn't we?
We did.
And had you got a message prepared in those languages?
You what? Me? No, I speak Hebrew and Greek and Aramaic and maybe a little bit of Latin. Well, Jesus taught me how to say, I don't speak Egyptian in Egyptian. That's very helpful. But no, that's it really. And we just started speaking, and it was like everyone around us was like, no matter what place they were from, they could understand us. It was bizarre.
So that meant they could understand you when you spoke?
Well, that's the odd thing, you see, because everyone who comes down to Pentecost, they're all trained in how to speak Hebrew as like a second language. We can all do it. Most of them could speak a bit of Aramaic. Why did I need to speak all these different languages?
I heard it all from when I was on the temple steps by the beautiful gate. They started there, you see, there was the usual hustle and bustle, and when something unusual happens, everyone stops, don't they? They stop their business and they all turn to look, and it all falls quiet. That's what happens. So there were the usual people who saw what they wanted to see and shouted things like, "Don't be drunk in the temple." Remember that? But for most of us, it was a heavenly sound we could hear.
And the rumours are that you took the opportunity to tell the crowds about Jesus.
Oh, he did. Yes, he did.
Well, what we've been waiting for. I don't mean just us. I mean, like the disciples of Jesus. It's like all of the Jewish people have been waiting for centuries. There's this prophet called Joel, you see, 300 years ago, one of the last prophets in our scriptures, and he talks about a day in the future where God was going to pour his spirit out in the form of, to everyone, rich, poor, male, female, local, foreign, anyone who wanted to know God. And that's what we're happening. So,
And Gregor, let's bring you in at this moment, because you heard Peter, but you couldn't respond at that time. Is that right?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there. That's right, Stacey. I've seen it all. I was born unable to walk, see, so even though you might be able to tell from my accent I'm not from around here, my parents moved us all the way over here when I was about 11, I think. So we needed to be somewhere where I could stand every single day and ask for help. You can't work if you can't walk, you see. So all we saw it as a curse on our family. Whether that's true or not, I mean, I definitely used to think it was true. I was cursed, but now with all that's happened, I'm not so sure about that anymore.
And you'd watched it all happen that Pentecost?
Well, not just Pentecost. We'd seen you when we came down with Jesus for we were here for 3 Passovers together and Festival of the Booths and some other things as well. I remember seeing you there. I wasn't going anywhere else, was I? No, I'd seen you all too. Like about 50 days earlier, I think. Jesus rode in on a donkey, like Solomon, taking his place as David's successor. Right. I'd also watched as Jesus had spent that week in the temple courts. Remember, he trashed the police on the first day, and then he spent 3 days teaching. He was fierce. Very hard things he was telling to the religious leaders. I think not what they wanted to hear, was it? So I was a big fan of Jesus. So watching Peter give his message about how Jesus' death had been no accident, he had purposefully gone to his execution on that cross, and he'd pulled into himself all of the corruption and evil, the whole world of all of us, and to pay for it all. The grave could not contain the force of life that lived inside our Jesus, and he burst back to life 3 days later. You were listening really well.
I was. Well, it's changed me, Peter. In every single way a man can possibly be changed.
There was 3,000 in that crowd who became Christians on that day.
Yes, 3,000.
We took them all and we baptised them. It was chaos. Lovely chaos.
It was chaos. It was easy for me to keep up with what was going on as well, because after that they all met every day in the temple courts behind the gate where I was.
Yeah.
And so
I had to be in the temple courts because there's lots of women and lots of foreigners who'd come to follow Jesus, and there's certain places in the temple they can't go.
Yes, but straight away you were all listening to the teaching of you and the other people who'd been with Jesus, and you were grabbing whatever teaching they could, and they were singing songs together and then praying together and pooling all their money, and it was looking after each other. It was.
They weren't helping you, Gregor, were they? So you'd seen Jesus heal others, like your friend Bartimaeus, who'd been blind, but you were still a beggar by the gate.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I did find that difficult to deal with, I think. I don't think I felt like it was purposefully ignoring me. There was a lot happening, and I was used to it, you know. I'm used to being a bit of rubbish by the road, but Jesus' followers didn't do that to me. They started to say hello to me, and some of them were throwing me bits of food. But you're right. Somewhere deep inside all of us, I think, we long to be seen, don't we? To be noticed. We want to be the same as everyone else, and when there's something that marks you out as significantly other, I'd reached a point, I think, where I'd given up hope for me. Jesus had gone, hadn't he? He'd gone.
But the stories are that Peter, while you were with Jesus, you and the other disciples were also healing people. Is that right?
Well, Jesus was properly amazing at getting us ready for what he was up to. And we'd all assumed that he was going to be there like a new king or something, you know. And it really pulled the rug under us when he died. And he'd sent us out a couple of times to heal people and drive out spirits, and we'd done it. But when he was gone, we were all like, well, that's that then, isn't it? That's over.
But clearly not.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my part here, you see. So there I am. I'm being carried in by my family to the steps of the beautiful gate, as usual, when it's prayer o'clock, 3 o'clock. And Peter and John got up the stairs towards me, and
you were doing that thing where you don't really look at who's there, weren't you?
Well, you don't want to make eye contact with people. It's so demoralising when they don't look back at you. You know, it makes you feel so much less than human. But
Gregor's got his hands out like this from the mat he's been carried on, and he's going like, arms for the poor, arms for the poor,
arms for the poor. That's right. And I asked Peter and John for some cash.
I mean, we're really not the right people to ask for money. Jesus has trained us to live according to what we need and have a central purse to give like everything else away. We'd already given away our daily allowance.
That's exactly what he said to me. He says, I haven't got nothing. I haven't got like silver or gold, so I can give you. But what I have got, I can give you. I will give it to you.
And what was that?
It was the presence of Jesus living inside them. All of his power and presence. That same desire of Jesus to heal and restore. It's all still there bubbling up. And now it's in all of us who believe. My family put me down, and Peter reaches out his hand to me, and I'll never forget this, Peter. You said, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, get up and walk. And I just rose up on my own 2 legs, first time in my whole life.
Yeah. Should have seen the look on his family's face. They were like, what?
So was I. And I think I just ran into the temple and started telling everybody the people were gathering for prayer at 3, and I don't think I was particularly quiet about it.
No. No, you were right noisy. Everyone stopped, and they stopped what they were doing and looked over to you this time. And you burst into song.
I don't think I sang. I've got a terrible voice.
You did. You did.
I don't think.
You did. You started singing that bit from Isaiah. She'll go out with joy and be led forth.
That's right,
with
that's right.
peace. And the mountains and the hills shall break forth before you. There'll be shouts of joy, and the trees of the field shall clap their hands.
Clap their hands.
And the trees of the field shall clap their hands. And the trees of the field shall clap their hands. And the trees of the field shall clap their hands. And you'll go out with joy. That's right. That's
and how did the people respond? In
People in the
Pentecost?
temple.
Most of them knew it was me. They'd seen me there every day since I was 11.
Yes.
So they started to celebrate along with me. And Peter grabbed the opportunity, didn't she, to tell them this is the work of Jesus in him.
It weren't me.
And that they could have this self-same joy inside them. Even more people to know Jesus.
If you could tell our viewers one thing about this whole experience, what would it be?
Oh, that's difficult, isn't it? For me, it'd be that we should expect God to use us to do incredible things when we least expect it. I was on my way to prayer at 3 in the temple, and this guy here came across my path. I think I'd got into the place already where we were seeing God doing things, but like at certain times in certain places. And God's bigger, he's bigger, and bigger than the stuff we do. We need to be ready at any time for God to heal or speak or move. That's what I'd say.
For me, I think I'd reached a place inside me where I'd totally given up hope that there was ever going to be any change for me, for my story. And I'd watched God transforms life around me. I'd seen spectacular things for other people, and I'd found a place where I was happy for them. But I truly and honestly believe my own story would be like this for the rest of my life. And I think I'd want to say to people out there who are feeling like there's no sense of hopefulness for them, God does see you. He sees you. If you call out to him, he will send you someone to offer you a hand. And when he does, you should take it. God can do anything he wants to. I think I still don't understand why Jesus maybe didn't heal me before, but it's probably better. But I was very glad that he did heal me, and I was very glad it was through you, Peter, because now we've got a great friendship, haven't we?
We have.
Peter, Gregor, thank you very much.
Oh, nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
It was nothing. It was just.
I love talking about what Jesus.
I know.